we are going to discuss about Shankara's grades of truth and reality. The number of this unit is 20 and module number 10. Here we'll know what reality is and how grades of reality is being described by Shankaracharya. Again we will be able to know what is the truth and reality of Shankaracharya. Again we will be able to analyze the different grades of reality. Again you will be knowing what is absolute reality, and absolute reality is only reality according to Shankaracharya, and all other experiences are appearances only. Now what are the objectives of this unit? Here you will know that Shankara emphasizes the monistic tendency in the Upanishads and develops it into a systematic Advaitavada. Now so far as Shankara is concerned, he emphasizes the reality of the unconditioned and unqualified Brahman, which is called Nirguna Brahman, and regards it God, individual souls and the world as appearance due to cosmic nescience or Maya. That means according to Shankaracharya, the Brahman is only Nirguna and God is the creation of Maya. Okay. Now what is the ultimate reality according to Shankaracharya? Shankaracharya says that the ultimate reality is one, which is called Brahman or the Atman. Brahman is one eternal, pure, transcendental consciousness. Now it is the trans-empirical subject, objectless consciousness, which is not conditioned by space or time and causality, and it is the empirical categories. It is said by Shankaracharya that Brahman is the trans-empirical subject objectless consciousness, which is not conditioned by space and time and causality and the empirical categories. Now what is Brahman? It is also said by Shankaracharya that the Atman, which is the eternal consciousness and ultimate reality, is the foundation of the empirical universe. Shankara distinguishes between the ontological reality and the empirical reality. Brahman, the ontological reality, is known as the higher knowledge or Paravidya, and the later is known the lower knowledge or Aparavidya. Okay, Paravidya is Brahman or the absolute reality, which is the ontological reality, and what is the empirical reality? Empirical reality is the Aparavidya or the lower knowledge. Now, so far as Brahman is concerned, it is said by Shankaracharya that the ultimate reality is the foundation of empirical universe, but Shankara finds it difficult to reconcile the statements about creation with those denying the world of multiplicity. On realization of Brahman, the disappearances of all multiplicity also cannot be understood. Now it is said that the realization of Brahman, the disappearance of all multiplicity cannot be understood, but the dawn of the knowledge of reality can dispel only the unreal appearancing, and it appears as real, but it is not what is actually real. It is only the appearance. Now the idea furnishes Shankara with the clue to the mystery of the world. If the world is a mere appearance like an object in dream or illusion, then the present appearance of the world and it disappears on the knowledge of reality becomes intelligible. Now it is said by Shankaracharya that so far as this world is concerned, it is only the product of Maya, and we have already discussed it in the previous unit, and he says that once will achieve the actual knowledge or ultimate knowledge or absolute knowledge, then will be able to know what absolute reality is, and this appearance of Maya or this world will automatically be vanished. Now it is entirely erroneous to suppose that Shankara treats the world as a illusory or as a absolutely real. Okay. Now so far as Shankara is concerned, he recognizes the relative empirical or pragmatic reality of the world. He accords more reality to it than to illusion, which are false, and less reality to it than the Brahman, which is the only ontological reality. That means so far as this world is concerned, it is not as real as absolute reality, that is Brahman, but it is not like illusion also. Okay, it is if we compare the world to the illusion, then we'll find that it is a higher reality in comparison to illusions. Now, thus the concept of reality and the different grades of realities are importantly discussed in Shankaracharya's Advaita Vedanta. Now, what is reality according to Shankara? Shankara's Advaitavada regards the only non-dual and non-one ontological reality, which is called Brahman. Brahman, the Atman, is the supreme, perfect, absolute reality. Here, I just want to mention that Brahman and Atman are the same, but so far as Atman is concerned, it is the individual reality, and so far as Brahman is concerned, it is the universal reality. But ultimately, this individual reality is going to be same with the universal reality. Okay. Now, it can be said that everyone knows the existence of his own self. Okay. Why I know that I exist. Okay. In this concept, in this context, somehow we find this statement to be similar with Descartes' statements that I think, therefore I exist. Okay. Now, if we come to Shankaracharya, we will find that the existence of the self or Atman, which is the self-existent and self-proved, proves the existence of the supreme reality, which is Brahman. Why it is said by Shankaracharya? You just try to understand. Atman and Brahman are same. Only the difference is Atman is the individual reality and Brahman is the universal reality. And because my existence proves the existence of Atman, it means my existence and the existence of the other Atmans of this universe ultimately proves the existence of Brahman. Okay. Now, eternal Brahman is the only ontological reality in the empirical self. It is the foundational consciousness which is the transcendental ground of empirical self and empirical universe. Brahman can be also defined as Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat means existence, Chit means knowledge, and Ananda means bliss. Okay, that means Brahmana is something which can be defined with the help of existence, knowledge, and bliss. Now, it is the only ontological being which is infinite, eternal, supreme knowledge, and infinite, eternal, supreme bliss. Okay. Now, the ultimate reality is immortal, imperishable as existence. Knowledge and bliss are the essential characteristic of Brahman, and neither its part nor its properties which distinguishes Brahman from the world of appearance, which is unreal, non-intelligent, and of the nature of pain. Okay. Now, if we see the points of Shankaracharya, we will find that so far as Brahman is concerned, we find that it is the only reality, and if we are going to see what is reality, we will find that reality is non-spatial, non-temporal, non-causal, and non-empirical existence. It transcends the past, present, and future, and cause and effect. It is also free from all differences of space and time, substance, attributes, actions, and the like, and it is one attributeless and indeterminate real being. That is why it is said that so far as reality is concerned, it is totally devoid of all enzymes and determination such as genus, quality, activity, and other determinations. This reality is only the Brahman, which is the higher Brahman, and what is called Para-Brahman. It is, and this Para-Brahman or the higher Brahman, it is totally devoid of phenomenal determination. It is the nominal and immutable and transcends all the phenomena. Okay, it transcends all the phenomena, but it is a nominal thing. It is not a phenomenal thing. It is nominal or transcendental thing. Okay. Now, so far as this Brahman is concerned, we'll find that Brahman is the only reality and rest are mere false appearances only. Brahman expands in the form of effects and it appears as mere names and forms. Now, so far as reality is concerned, it is the ontological ground of the manifold empirical world, and the entire universe is Brahman itself. Now, it is one eternal Brahman which appears to be manifold appearances owing to nescience. Now, so far as Brahman is concerned, if we see it from the Shankaracharya's point of view or perspective, we'll find that Brahman is devoid of all differences. Maybe it is homogeneous or heterogeneous, and or maybe it is internal, and that is why there is no other reality which is similar and dissimilar. That means we will not find any reality which is related to Brahman, and will not find any dissimilarities also which are related to Brahman. That is why it is said that no other reality which is similar or dissimilar to it, and which is differ from one another, as branches, leaves, flowers and fruits even differ from one another in a tree. That means neither partially nor as a whole it has any similarities with Brahman. Okay. Now, so far as Brahman is concerned, we'll find that Brahman is absolutely undifferentiated pure identity. There is no other realities except Brahman, and which is totally limitless and infinite. Now, the ultimate reality is the inner self of all the creatures. The Atman of all knower is Brahman. Now, we'll try to understand what truth and reality is and how it forms. Now, see, so far as truth is concerned, truth is freedom from contradiction, which is never settled, and absolute truth can never be contradicted. Now, if we'll see about the truth, then we'll again find that it is constant and unalterable existence, and the ultimate truth is absolute, independent and eternal existence. And that is why it can be said that it is one pure, transcendental, transempirical being. It is absolutely positive, absolutely simple and absolutely indeterminate. Okay. Again, we can say that so far as Brahman is concerned, Brahman is the only absolute truth as well as absolute reality. Okay. Now, as the ultimate reality is absolute existence, Brahman is only absolute existence, which other appearances are relative existence. That means whatever existence will find except Brahman are all relative appearances, but so far as Brahman is concerned, it is the original one. Or we can say that Brahman exists in the real sense. Now, Brahman is not both indeterminate and determinate. We can neither able to define Brahman as the indeterminate, nor we can define it with the help of determination. So it can be said that Brahman is something which is not both indeterminate and determinate. It is indeterminate in itself, but appears to be determinate owing to the limiting adjuncts or cosmic nescience and its products. As indeterminate and undifferentiated, Brahman cannot assume in different forms. Okay. Now, Brahman in itself non-different, but appears to be different as God and the individual self. Why it is happened? Because it is believed by Shankaracharya that this kind of such empirical duality is an empirical appearance due to ignorance. And we generally what we do, we generally pray to God. But it is said by Shankaracharya that God and we are not two different entities. We are the same. So it is only an act of ignorance. Now, so far as Brahman is concerned, it is also said that one Brahman is totally free from limiting adjuncts, is the object of intuition, and when it is conditioned by the limiting adjuncts, it is the object of worship. Phenomenal God, which we term as Ishvara, is the object of worship, while indeterminate Brahman is not the object of worship, since it is beyond actor and activity. Okay. Now, so far as Brahman is concerned, we can also say that this Ishvara, which is called Shaguna Brahma, it is the creation of Maya. But Nirguna Brahma, according to Shankaracharya, is the absolute reality. Now, when the knowledge of identity of Brahman dawns, all knowledge of duality vanishes automatically. Indeterminate Brahman is realized by supra-intellectual intuition. In this sense, twofold Brahman is known as Brahman free from all adjuncts and Brahman qualified by the adjuncts of empirical name and forms. Now, let us try to know what grades of reality are. So far as Shankaracharya is concerned, he has recognized three kinds of grades of realities. According to him, three grades of realities are ontological or transcendental or absolute reality, which is called Paramarthika. Second is the empirical or Vyavaharika or practical or ordinary experiences, and third is the illusory or Pratibhashika realities. These three theories of grades of realities are known as Shvetatrayi Vidyavada. First, it is the absolute truth, it is the pure existence which reveals itself through all experiences, and it is neither contradicted nor contradictable, and it is the only ontological reality or Paramarthika Satta. Brahman is again said by Shankaracharya that it is pure existence and the ontological absolute reality. Now, so far as second absolute grace of reality is concerned, it is said by Shankaracharya is the empirical or Vyavaharika reality. Vyavaharika Satta or empirical reality. The object that appears in our waking experiences, the world in space and time and subject to causality, the particular and changing object which forms the basis of our ordinary or practical life, but which are contradicted by the dawn of the intuitive knowledge of the Brahman or the empirical reality or the Vyavaharika Satta, and thus the world of our experience is the empirical reality. In fact, whatever we perceive or whatever we see, all those are fall under the category of Vyavaharika Satta or empirical reality. And the third grade of reality is the illusory or Pratibhashika realities. The objects that only appear momentarily in illusions and dreams are contradicted by other experiences are the illusory realities. Like we can take the very popular example of snake and the rope. Now, so far as the illusion of a snake in a rope is concerned, you will find that a rope is only temporary and this illusion is not universal, since all persons do not simultaneously experience this kind of illusion. I can in a temporary moment I can perceive a rope as a snake, but the fellow person who is just standing behind me, he couldn't perceive that rope as a snake. That means whenever we we are having an illusion, it is only related to only one person, and that reality is totally related to one person, that also for a temporary period. That is why this kind of realities are totally product of Maya. Of the three grades of reality, the first one represents the absolute truth, the other two are false due to dosas. Now, so far as the difference between Vyavaharika and Pratibhashika Satta is there, it can be said that because of the dosas and the Vyavaharika perception is neither discovered nor removed until salvation, whereas the dosha of the Pratibhashika reality, which occurs in many extraneous forms such as defects of senses, sleep, etc., is perceived in the world of our ordinary experience, is much temporary than the Vyavaharika Satta. That means Vyavaharika Satta will be vanishes when we will attain the absolute reality, but so far as the existence of illusions are concerned, it is much more temporal than Vyavaharika Satta. But just as the Vyavaharika world is regarded as a phenomenal modifications of the Ajnana as part of form of our subjective experience, so the illusion, for example a snake in a rope, is also regarded as the modification of avidya, but by the agency of the dosha. Now, it can also be said that these three grades of realities are divided by Shankaracharya, and he always said that so far as absolute reality is concerned, only Brahman or Paramarthika Satta is the absolute reality. Now, thus Shankara believes that all appearances of reality in the world appears was really derived from the reality of Brahman, which was self-luminous in all our experiences. Now, the world appearances in an illusory creation, but the sense of reality, it is a misattribution or anyatha khati of characteristic of the Brahman to it. Thus, so far as Shankara is concerned, he always regards that Brahman alone is the truth and the reality which manifests itself as the reality of all our illusory experiences related to this world. Now, just see the summary of this unit. Here we have come across some important points, so just see these important points. Here we have seen that Shankara emphasizes the reality of the unconditioned and unqualified Brahman and regards God, individual souls and the world as appearance due to cosmic nescience or Maya. Secondly, Shankara distinguishes between the ontological reality, which is known as higher knowledge or Paravidya, and the empirical reality, which is known by lower knowledge or Aparavidya. Again, the ultimate reality, the Atman, is the eternal consciousness, which is the foundation of the empirical world. The ultimate truth, which can never be contradicted in the ultimate reality, is the constant and unalterable experience. Again, Shankaracharya said that Brahman is Sat Chit Ananda, existence, knowledge and bliss, and these three are the essential characteristics of Brahman. That is, it is the only ontological being, infinite, eternal, supreme knowledge and eternal, supreme bliss. And Shankara again said that the concept of reality and its different forms of the different grades of reality are emphasized in Shankara's philosophy. The first grade of reality is the absolute truth. Brahman is the pure existence which reveals itself through all experiences and is neither contradicted nor contradictable, and it is the ontological or paramarthika satta or the absolute reality. The world of experience is the empirical or vyavaharika satta or empirical reality, which is the second grade of reality. The objects that appears in our experience, the world in space and time and subject to causality, the changing objects which are the basis of our ordinary or practical life are empirical reality. The objects that appears momentarily in illusions and dreams are contradicted by the other experiences, and that is why other illusory reality, or it is the pratibhashika satta, and it is the third grade of reality. So this is in brief about Shankara's grades of realities. I think you have understood it well. Thank you.